going to kick this off and let's throw it right over to Brighton. Brighton, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about your background and then take it away.
Great. Thank you very much, Chris. Like Chris said, I'm going to tell you first a little bit about me and why you should listen to me, and then we're going to start dropping the value bombs. And I'm Brighton West, and I started doing online video before YouTube even existed. So back in the early 2000s, I was living in Atlanta. My friends worked for CNN, and that was our form of entertainment. We'd have big parties where we would show videos, and we'd upload those videos to the internet, and they would show up like these tiny little windows online because that's all we could get back in that day. And it was difficult and it was expensive. But today there is YouTube, which is easy and free. And if you are just starting out on your online video journey, this is the perfect time for you to start. Back to my life, I moved from Atlanta to Portland, Oregon, started doing short form documentaries with the Northwest Documentary, and that was a really great learning experience for me to learn how to produce those nonfiction, the stories, and how to have something that's really engaging in a short form content. So the next thing I did was I created a web series, and the web series is called Vancouveria, if you've heard of Portlandia, and if you're from the Pacific Northwest, you might know what we're talking about. There is a Vancouver, USA, that's a suburb of Portland, and it is just like the exact opposite of Portland. It was a very successful local web series. It didn't go national because people thought we were making fun of Vancouver, BC. It didn't quite make sense because Vancouver, BC is a pretty cool place, but anyway, it was popular here locally, and this was kind of the turning point in my career, is when a local magazine did a story about Vancouveria featuring the lead actor and didn't even mention me. And I was like, wow, I'm behind the scenes, I'm writing these things, I'm producing, I'm directing, I'm funding this whole thing, and here's the guy that's on camera who may or may not know his lines when he shows up. He's getting all the glory. And that's when I realized that you have to be on the camera to get any of the glory. And I'm hoping that you guys, as you're watching this, maybe it's starting to work with you and you're like, oh yeah, I need to be able to start to get comfortable on camera because that's where the gold is in making online video. So once I was doing the web series, people started asking me, well, how do I do that? How do I get to do online video? And so I started helping people with their web series and quickly learned that there was no money there. So I learned quickly that you have to have clients that have money and you have to help them make money if you want to make money. And that was Nathan Barry from ConvertKit that shared that tip with me, and it moved me into working in the marketing and online course space, helping people create their online videos and their online courses. And I work specifically with professional coaches, life coaches, executive coaches, but the material that Chris and I are going to present today really applies to anyone who's creating videos online. So I think, if you're watching live, feel free to put any questions down in the comment section. But other than that, Chris will see those comments. He'll pop them in as we go. But other than that, I think I'm ready to pull up my slideshow if you're ready, Chris. How to find the content that your audience will love. And we're going to hop right in. First, you have to understand what your audience wants. I mean, you have to understand who your audience is, and we'll cover that. But what does your audience want when they open up a video online? So there's really only three things. They want to be entertained, they want to be inspired, or they want to be educated. And the way I think about this is to think about a dinner party. Who are the people that you want at your dinner party? The first person you want is the entertainer. So this is someone who's going to keep it jovial or keep people like hanging on the edge of their seat with their stories, but that's going to keep people entertained. And maybe it's funny, maybe it's drama, but entertainment is one person, the entertainer is one person you want to have at your dinner party. The next one is the inspirer. I think of this as the person who just got back from a trip overseas and they've been traveling and working. They're kind of location-independent entrepreneur, and you're like, wow, I wish I had that. That's so cool. I wonder how I can do that. And it creates that inspiration inside of you to say, like, I want to do something bigger. So inspirational, second person that you want at your dinner party. Last person is your educator. So say it's around Halloween and you've got someone there who's a historian who could really tell the whole story of the history of Halloween. Um, you know, that's something that people, it's current, it's something that people are interested in at that point in time, and that person is able to communicate that to their audience. Now, the one person who is not at my dinner party here, the one person I failed to invite, is the informer. The informer is typically like your Uncle Joe, who's just, tells about what's going on in his life, maybe talks about the medical conditions or, prescription eyeglasses that he had to upgrade to or something like that. But for the most part, just giving information about who you are, what your business is, things like that. Not going to be exciting at a dinner party, not going to be exciting for online video. So I'm going to move ahead, and right now I want to tell you about how do you find what your audience wants. So when you're shooting online video, one of the first things you need to do is provide that great content for your audience, but how do you know what that great content is? So there's a couple of areas that I'm going to present to you today that you can go and find out what your audience wants. So Facebook and Facebook groups is great. I mentioned that my niche is professional coaches, so I'm a member of the Business of Coaching Facebook group. And here's someone named Beth who asks, what do I do when a client is not very action-oriented? So this is perfect. This is definitely part of my audience, and they have a question. I can answer that question with video. And I can answer that question using her words too, in terms of like not being very action-oriented. It's best with online video to really use the words that your clients are using. So Facebook groups, great place to find content. The next one is frequently asked questions. Not only the frequently asked questions from your website, or just the frequently asked questions that aren't yet on your website, but things that people ask you all the time. Those are great content for video, but also going to other people's websites. And right here, this is the International Federation of Coaches. So these are some common questions that are coming up with coaches. So I could answer these questions with online video. The last one I want to mention is the comment section on YouTube. Once you start creating videos, people are going to start asking you questions. They're going to start to see what expertise you have, and they're going to ask questions where they think that you can answer that question. But if you haven't started yet, you can go over to other people in your niche. So this is James Wedmore, and he is great at teaching people how to do online video. And someone asked him, how'd you do the animation in your video? And James replies back, I didn't. My editor did. I don't know how to do that stuff. But I know how to do that stuff. And so I know that there are people out there that want to do that James Wedmore style animation, and I can teach them. So dig through the internet and find the content that the people that your audience wants to see. The next thing I want to go over is the purpose of your video. So what is the purpose of each video that you're making? And the purpose is what you get from that video. So for instance, I'm going to give you some examples here. So this is really about what you're getting out of creating that video. So list building is very popular with online businesses. You want to collect people's email addresses, and the goal of your video, the purpose of your video, is at the end of the video, people are going to give you their email address. Another one is sales. So you're creating a video so that the viewer buys your product afterwards. And a great one, video is amazing at thought leadership. So you talk about your niche and what you know about online, and people will see you as the leader in that category. And I feel like this is so much better than blogs or podcasts, because they're getting the information that they would get from a blog. They're also hearing you, but also seeing you, and they're identifying you as the author of that information. How often do you go to a blog and you read the post and you're like, wow, these are great, this is great information, but as soon as you're off that blog, you don't know anything about the author of that information. If that was given to you in video, you would remember that person. And podcasts are great, but I still feel like video is better because you're getting not only the audio, the video, and the information at the same time. So, purpose of the video is what you get from that video. The next thing you need to know is who is your target audience. And the target audience, these are the people that can deliver on your purpose. So if your purpose is list building, then these are people who have email addresses that you want to collect in your niche. So for instance, here we've got a teenage girl and we've got her mother, and she doesn't look very happy in this picture. Maybe she's having cell phone problems, but if you were selling family cell phone service, your target audience would probably be mom, because she's the one who buys that service, not her daughter. So really, who is it that can deliver on your purpose? That person is your target audience. Then you need to think about the value. Now, I talked about the value earlier on when I talked about the three different things, and the value is what you're talking about, what you're providing to the viewer. So, for instance, I'm going to go through some examples here, and this is getting back to that entertain, inspire, or educate. And your value is not information. You might be able to educate people about something, but just kind of putting information out there. It works for some YouTubers. I'm not quite sure why. But let's go through a couple of videos now. This is about video, so I wanted to pop in some videos. And of course, cat videos. You can never have a presentation without a cat video. So I wanted to pop this one in here. This one's been viewed 76 million times. Very entertaining. If you haven't seen this one, go ahead, Chris, and let's roll this video. Very entertaining video. I love that video, but it really just makes people feel good inside, and I think that's why the kitten videos work great. So every once in a while, I'll pop my cat into my videos. I know Chris will do the same thing. So another one is to educate. This is my friend Antonio, and he runs Real Men, Real Style. He started this YouTube channel because he was selling clothing, men's clothing, and he found that men had a lot of questions about nice clothing, and he started answering those questions online. And now he's making his living completely off the online education of men around clothing. And he provides these videos for free, but he's got lots of paid products too, and he's doing really well for himself. But here's a video that Chris is going to run in a second. 4 ways to tuck in your shirt. Who knew there were 4 ways to tuck in your shirt? But if you wanted to know how to tuck in your shirt, you could learn that from Antonio. So let's let Antonio educate us just a tiny little bit.
Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today I'm going to be speaking with you about how to tuck in your shirt. I know, something really complex, but think about it, guys. Look around. How many guys are tucking in their shirts improperly?
Great. I don't know. I didn't really even realize I was tucking in my shirt improperly until I watched this video, and I was like, whoa, that's why some guys look so much better than me. It's not something amazing, but you can learn to tuck in your shirt. So, if you want, just remember Real Men, Real Style, tuck shirt. Go and find out afterwards how this works. But I'm going to bump forward to the next type of video, type of value that you can provide to your audience, and that is inspiration. And what I found is interviews are often inspirational. They might be educational, but a good interview is also inspirational. I think of John Lee Dumas does Entrepreneur on Fire. It's a podcast, but it is good information and I learn from it, but the biggest thing I get is really feeling inspired by the person who's being interviewed. So many of you might consider doing an interview show, and I want to show you an inspirational moment from Marie Forleo. She runs B School. I'm a B Schooler. This is an interview that Marie is having with someone in Colleen. So let's roll that now.
When I read the book, I got the sense that you too are on this journey. How have you experienced this idea of you're enough, knowing you're enough? How does that make sense in your life now?
So interesting, Marie. The first time I heard that phrase was actually a month into writing the book.
Great. And so you can see that is a 20-minute long interview, rather long for a YouTube video, but if it's inspirational enough, people will continue watching. So just a brief recap there. When you're providing value, that's what you're providing for the viewer, and it should be entertain, inspire, or educate. Now I'm going to go into a couple of examples here to show you the difference between these and how that really plays out. So I'm going to use this example, SSI Shredders. They're a company here in Oregon, and they make humongous shredders that can shred anything. This video here, it's the Unishear SR900. It's been viewed just over 1,000 times, and it is a sales video. The purpose is to sell this shredder. The target audience is people who buy shredders. And there's not that many people in this world that need to buy an industrial size shredder, but this is who the video is for. And the value that they're providing is education. So they're really teaching people about how this shredder works and giving them that information that they need to be able to make a purchase. So Chris, why don't you roll this video real quickly?
The SR900 Unishear is a machine that's taken us a few years to develop. It's really, it's by customer demand. You know, we have a lot of primary shredding customers out there, and they were all buying competitive machines to go after the SSI products. And they had things about those machines that they wished were better, they wanted to improve on.
So there, briefly, we've just got a typical talking head video, some nice little corporate sound in the background, but they're really just kind of providing you with that information, real high quality video. But I want to show you another video that's completely different, also from SSI's channel. So remember, this video was just over 1,000 people. Bump forward, this video has been seen over 5 million times. Completely different purpose, completely different target audience, and completely different value. Same channel. So this is the Hippie Bug Shred, and the purpose of this video is SEO. So this is one thing that works with YouTube, is that if you have a lot of popular videos on your channel, that's going to bring up your other videos. So if by providing these really popular, ultra popular entertainment videos, they're able to boost up their sales videos and kind of pull them along so that when someone searches for shredders, they'll find that sales video. The target audience here is teenage boys. The guy in the last video who is buying shredders, he sees this stuff all the time. He's not very entertained by this, but teenage boys are going to take this, they're going to view it all the way through, they're going to share it with their friends, they're going to view it multiple times, and it's really going to boost up SSI's YouTube channel to be one of the more popular channels out there, which helps their sales videos. And of course, the value is entertainment. And so I know you guys are dying, and I'm going to have Chris show this video here of dropping the Hippie Bug into the shredder. Great. So that is just a fun video. It is amazing. If you go and you look up that video, you will watch that get shredded into tiny little pieces, smaller than your fist. Great entertaining content. But I just want to recap now. So that was an example, 2 different examples from the exact same channel, but the purpose of each video is different. So I guess the point here is that every time you're turning on your camera and you're recording, you want to think about those 3 key things: the target audience, the purpose, and the value, because each one of them can be different. Let me do a quick recap now. As I mentioned, the 3 things you need to do before each video are to determine the purpose. That's what does the video give to you. Determine the target audience, that's who can deliver on your purpose, and then the value, that's what the target audience is getting from your video. So the value broken down into 3 things is you can entertain people, you can inspire them, or you can educate them. And like I said, information is not necessarily what people are looking for on the internet. They don't want to watch a video about just information. So give them what they want, and I showed you earlier how you can find those people. So I hope this was helpful in terms of finding and creating content, determining what it is your audience wants, and being able to provide that for them. I'm going to pass this on to Chris now, who's going to go into the next steps, which is really putting that content on the screen and making it compelling. So Chris, take it away.
Oh, thanks, Brighton. And I figured I'd keep you on the screen for a second. Just say, epic job, man. Another great job. I love the bug video, but I think I'm actually liking the cat video even more. I mean, having the internet superstar of cats, the first cat on a blab, which I have the claim to fame for. I love the little kitten with the woods. It just kind of, it's an amazing thing. So epic videos. And I think the interesting thing, before I kind of take the reins of this runaway locomotive, as we like to call it sometimes, I think one of the interesting things was that the cat video and the bug video were shared and were viewed millions of times, yet the core video to get more clients, so to speak, for SSI Shredder was only viewed a couple of times. I'm going to touch on that a little bit later here in the second segment, but it's amazing the difference between virality or video going viral and a video being memorable, right?
Yeah, and I think that the key there is, yeah, sure, 55 million people or something, or 75 million people viewed that cat video, which probably made some money for the creator. But those 1,000 people that sat back and watched the video of the SR900 shredder, that's where the real money is. The real money is in finding that target audience that is able to buy from you and producing stuff for them, not trying to shoot for viral videos that the entire internet watches, really designing that stuff so that it's serving your purpose.
Exactly. I mean, there's only one grumpy cat. There might be another one. Who knows? There, like I said, I might have Blabby Cat or something like that. If anybody comes out with that, you heard it here first. We want a cut of the money. But no, in all seriousness, it's kind of, yes, you can shoot for the moon with the viral video, but if you have a video that people are going to watch and then buy from you, it ends up, being much better for your business. Like you said, I bet if they looked at the ROI on that shredder video, they probably made a ton more than they did on the bug video. But anyway, I could talk forever on this. We both could. I'm going to shut up and stop asking you questions so that maybe I can teach a little bit. Is that okay? Can I do that?
That sounds great.
Okay, well, I'm going to take over this runaway locomotive we call a webinar and introduce myself.
To watch the rest of this epic webinar, visit ProCoachTV.com and claim your free membership. Do it now. You'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Go to ProCoachTV.com right now and claim your free membership.